Hey friends, it's been about 11 days since I stopped smoking, and it's been a ride, man. It's been a roller coaster of emotion, feeling, sleep deprivation. I just had like a few good hours of sleep last night, and where do I start? I've been tweeting a bunch about this stuff, so if you search my Twitter for the no smoking emoji, you'll see a bunch of stuff, and I'll piece it together in an article or something. But while I'm on YouTube making a video, I should just try and recreate or recall what I said. So yesterday, I had this overwhelming sense of sensory overload. I was having dinner with my wife, and just all the noises and the lights and colors and sounds just blaring in my face, and I wanted to scream inwardly. It was just so intense. And this morning, and then I managed to sleep a good night's sleep. And then this morning I woke up and I was just walking up and down, and like I felt the sun on my face and the wind on my skin and my hair and everything. And I just really, I feel like I'm like I restarted my computer, I guess, right? And it's just a bunch of things are different, a bunch of things are overwhelming, but it also feels good. It's chaotic. And it makes me realize that I've been using cigarettes to suppress myself, suppress my emotions, suppress my sensations, even sensations on my skin, right? And this rhymes with a bunch of stuff I've read about trauma and just numbing, right? Like when you're uncomfortable, when you feel pain, it's normal to want to numb the pain, to make it go away. But you can't selectively numb things, so then you become numb throughout, and then you don't feel happiness, you don't feel joy, you don't enjoy the feeling of things on your skin. I'm and when I smoke a lot, right, like I squint to not let the smoke into my eyes, and then even when I'm done smoking, my eyes stay squinted, and then it takes some time. So it's been like almost 2 weeks. It takes some time to relax the face and the eyes, and my skin is getting better. It's waxier, it feels more, it doesn't feel as dry, obviously, because it's not smoke blowing in it all the time. And yeah, I feel good, man. And I'm, I've been having a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. I feel like I have been, on the other hand, I've been feeling very incoherent, and I think if you've been watching my videos, you may notice that like I can't seem to string sentences coherently as well as I was before. This might be a temporary thing, I hope it is. But so cigarettes do compress, and it helped me kind of focus, and they help me think, and they help me work, and I can speak better, I think. I mean, better in a certain sense, right? So it's like cigarettes were the blinders or the constraints that were regulating me in a way. And so now I'm unregulated, and it's chaotic, and in some ways it's like waking up to the pain in some ways. And it's like childhood memories and shit flooding back. And this is what I wanted, this is what I prepared for. This is why I wrote the book and got the tattoo. I'm prepared for this journey inwards into my feelings. And I've read similar things about people saying similar things about fasting, like not eating. If you don't eat for a day, you don't eat for a couple of days. I think like several days of not eating, you begin to, like, it's something about your brain chemistry. I don't know the specifics, but something leads you to just having old feelings, old thoughts, sometimes from like childhood and shit. And it seems all very real to me. And I feel that the way people talk about addiction is not right. And I'll figure this out. This is a lifelong work in progress for me. But I think a common thing people expect, you expect someone who's an ex-smoker to say cigarettes are bad, don't smoke, don't pick up smoking, quit, it's bad for your family, bad for whatever, and bad for your health. And I'm like, I don't think that's an effective strategy. I don't think so. A phrase that I tweeted was, you can't moralize away a load-bearing coping mechanism. So if you have a coping mechanism, whether it's cigarettes, binge eating, candy, playing video games, whatever, if you have some coping mechanism that you're like addicted to, you're indulging in, the question is why is that? So we frame it wrong. We're like, why are you doing the thing that is bad? But that frame itself there's this sort of man is intrinsically sinful logic, which I don't think is accurate or helpful. I think it's really, what are you, and even sin. What are you avoiding? What are you running from? What is it that you're afraid to face? I think those are the real questions. And I got more to say about this, but I don't really like how I feel like my brain's very scattered. So I'm just gonna make short videos and I'll revisit it. But yeah, you can't moralize away a load-bearing coping mechanism. And I don't hate cigarettes. You know, going off cigarettes and having all these feelings and thinking about all these things actually makes me appreciate cigarettes more. Which is such a weird thing to say, right? Like, cigarettes are bad. They ruin for your health. But, you know, I believe that if I had a more, like a hateful attitude towards cigarettes, I would be likelier to smoke again. Seems like irony or paradox or something, but it's true. It really is. I don't know how to explain it right now. But yeah, you know, the people who kind of like self-loathing creates this polarization, and then there's this oscillation where, you know, there's like grandiosity and self-loathing and like tyranny and weakness, and it's just, you know, like the end goal, if you want to quit smoking, in my opinion, is that you should become almost indifferent to cigarettes rather than I hate cigarettes, they're so bad. You know, it's there's this kind of scapegoating that happens where, you know, you were using the cigarettes to achieve some relief, right? And what are you avoiding? Why are you avoiding it? And in my case, you know, it's like all kinds of childhood shit, like school, family, sense of neglect, just bad shit. I don't know if I want to get into it now, but I went through a lot, man. You know, my friends, just general anxieties, and cigarettes helped me not have to be overwhelmed by that shit. So it bought me time, you know. And I've been thinking more lately about like stages of life. You know, like this is the phrase that came to me recently that was that like every infant child, like a baby, every baby is a narcissist. It's a solipsistic narcissist. Its only responsibility is to itself. It doesn't care about anybody else, right? It'll cry and scream and get its way. And that's what a child is supposed to be, right? Like at that, when you're one, you're like 6 months old to 2 years, like put your needs first, you know, like don't worry about anything else. You can't anyway. But like the tragic thing is that people don't grow out of that. And I had another conversation with a friend, a Twitter exchange, where, you know, we're talking about what is adulthood, and I feel that adulthood is, I don't know if I can recreate my definition, but like you have to take responsibility for yourself, right? No one can give it to you. Adulthood isn't a prize you get for being a good child, a good enough child. You have to stand up one day and say, all right, I hereby take responsibility for myself. There's no test, there's no, you know, award. If you try and create like an initiation something where you get your award, your adulthood trophy from some authority figure, then you just, you know, you're kind of like transposing whatever, like your boyhood, childhood, parent or whatever. It's just, you're just you're passing the buck, right? But ultimately you have to take responsibility for yourself, and a lot of people don't go that far. And you can live and die. You can be a grown man. You can be like in your 80s and 90s and never have taken responsibility for yourself. It's very sad. It's grotesque. But yeah, I'm doing alright. Hope you guys are well. And if you're not doing well, I wish you guys strength. See you around. Yeah.